What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today. With me I have some more RPG horror stories. After a little bit of like RPG horror stories back to back, I do want to take some time to work on some other ideas that I've had in mind that I wanted to work on. Ideas such as like looking over some homebrew and just judging some of the craziest homebrew I can find out there. And then doing some more videos with Mary and Micah, maybe a few friends if they decide to want to join in. And then finally doing some more streams, because as a D&D VTuber, I can't really call myself a VTuber unless I stream. But while I'm getting that stuff taken care of in the background, I do want to record some RPG horror stories, starting with the one today. Let's get to the first story for today. Healer accuses Necromancer of abuse, then threatens to leave the game. Before I get into things, some background is needed. I just started a new campaign not long ago, feeling good about the players I've selected. 2 are friends I've played with before several times, and 2 are new. Also important to note, this game is being played entirely online. Anyway, the 4 players are Sorcerer, who's one of my friends IRL, Necromancer, who's new to my games, Healer, who I've played one-shots with before, Pugilist, who's also new to my games. After I'd gathered the players, we all assembled for session 0. We all had a fun time. I outlined the lore and homebrew I'd be using, everyone got along well, and all was good. Fast forward to a day before session 1, there's a small dispute between Healer and Necromancer. The players have been talking about their class and such, and Healer made a joke about how she felt useless because other players had buffs. The way it was written came across as a joke, which is what the intention was. Necromancer responded by saying some of the ways druids could get in DPS and other forms of utility, and Healer gets mad. Eventually they work it out and I don't need to get involved, and we start session 1 in good faith. As session 1 begins, I go through the introductions, each player gets a chance to show off their character personalities and things continue without any problems. At the end of the session, I asked if they would like a short rest, to which the group agrees, why not? Day after is when the trouble begins. Pugilist asked in chat why exactly we took a short rest, because they didn't exactly expend a lot of resources. Necromancer links a webpage that lists some things you can do, and says things like training, hit dice, etc. Healer then enters the conversation and makes a comment about how it's not really worth it, because training takes forever. Necromancer says that they were only linking possible options and at most were for flavor, not rule as written. Healer then says, just making a friendly remark, guess I'm not allowed to talk now. Necromancer replies with, that's not what I said, but if you have an issue we can handle in character. I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation. After this, Healer begins to DM me, saying that what Necromancer said hurt their feelings. I said I'd talk to them about it, and shortly afterwards Healer messaged me again saying they abused them and triggered their PTSD. Necromancer is making them feel unsafe. I continue to say I will discuss with Necromancer, but they begin to adamantly request that Necromancer needs to be kicked from the game because of what they said. Okay, yeah, Healer's using PTSD and all that stuff in order just to get a player removed. What did Necromancer do? They were just like, you could do this at short rest, you can train, you can heal, you could do side activities for about an hour, you know, just as flavor, not really rules as written. That's just the options we could do, theoretically, as a short rest. And the Healer just took that personally. I don't know what's going on. Why is Healer doing this? Just seems so out of nowhere passive aggressive, and then going to the point where they're demanding the DM removes the Necromancer immediately. Note, this entire time, they have not cited any private messages between the two, nor even mentioned that anything happened in DMs between them. So I asked Necromancer about it. They explained their side and then end up agreeing that Healer is overreacting. By the time I look at my DMs with Healer, they have began a rant about how everyone is discriminating against them for their autism, and this is abuse and bullying. They're going to OD on alcohol if nothing is done. Dude, it sounds like Healer has more problems than the game, threatening to OD on alcohol because they're not having Necromancer kicked. But this time, I've already decided that I would not be kicking Necromancer. When Healer learns this, they completely lose it, going off that I'm discriminating, that I must hate them because I won't do what they want, etc. What a bizarre conversation to have. Hey, do what I say. No. Oh, you hate me. No, it's not because they hate you, Healer. You're overreacting over something that's not even an issue. You're turning a molehill into a freaking elephant. Quit doing that. Quit overreacting. And quit threatening you're gonna OD on alcohol. What the hell? What the hell is this? Eventually, they'll leave the server before I have a chance to even talk to them. They'll leave with a message of saying they will probably OD because of the rampant abuse of Necromancer. Feel kind of responsible for what happened, even though Healer was definitely overreacting. So, do you think I could have stopped this in any way? Was healer at fault here? At this point, I'm not entirely sure, but I hope they end out okay. I don't know, man. I feel like if somebody's demanding you do something and they're threatening you to OD themselves in any way, shape, or form, or to harm themselves, it sounds like they're trying to manipulate you. The healer just didn't want Necromancer there because Necromancer just linked what you could do as a short rest and said, yeah, you could do that as flavor if you wanted. And the healer took that person. They're like, how dare you? How dare you take it personally? This makes no sense, but clearly something's wrong with the healer. And they really should not be playing this campaign or should be demanding you remove other players for recommending what you could do as flavor in short rest. It just doesn't make sense. How's that abuse? I have no idea. Maybe there's more context behind the scenes. Maybe the DMs exchange or something. I'm not fully sure. But either way, I don't think the OP did anything wrong here. Either way, let's get to the next story for today. DM uses AI for evil. So I play D&D in Discord with some friends who go to college with. We all kind of float around in a campaigns gaming club. Last semester we started a campaign run by this guy I've become friends with. He was very much into eccentric world building and generally had a very creative side to him, which makes what happened all the more tragic. He created the campaign on planet Venus billions of years ago when it was habitable. The forces of hell were emerging through and the climate was getting hotter and hotter. Initially we had like 11 players, but after like 3 sessions, the campaign naturally whittled down to no more than 4 to 5 players per session. The relevant players were me, Dragonborn Cleric, my other good friend, Tiefling Druid, an acquaintance, Yuan-Ti Fighter, and a 40-year-old dude going back to college who just wanted to play D&D, Drow Bard. The DMs seemed to have a crush on Tiefling's Druid player and definitely tried flirting with her, both in-game using NPCs and out-of-game. It eventually became kind of obvious that she wasn't into him, so the flirtation just kind of fizzled out. The game got really good when crap went down. The first town we had explored had not been evacuated due to the scorching heat. Other towns and cities were hiring mages to cast cold-based spells to keep the temperature habitable, and people traveled seldomly. Demons were ravaging the world as this was all going on. Time was running out, and we were desperate. Will we change history, or will the Venus we all know come into being? Well, we'll never find out because our DM and Yuan-Ti's player turned out to be massive freaking creeps. One day, after Yuan-Ti Fighter slept with a young princess in exchange for a magic item that would dispel the heat in the town we were in, Drow Bard then said, "Bro, tell me next time you bang a hot princess, we can have a devil's three-way," and they started laughing. Yuan-Ti's Fighter's player took this as green light to invite Drow Bard to a private Discord that only he, DM, and a couple of other dudes were in. It was full of AI-generated nudes of women that knew, along with the deepfakes involving them in sexual situations with the DM and other creepy guys on the server. Jesus Christ. Every single time it has to do with AI, it always has to lead to sexy pictures and porn. I mean, I guess if you could just generate porn with a click of a button, I suppose you're gonna have groups that just circulate around that. Jerculate around that? Yeah, we'll go with that. Good lord. Why? Every single time. When it's AI, it's always porn. These images and videos including Tiefling Druid's player, my friend, and her 13-year-old sister that DM apparently found in an Instagram post. Jesus Christ! What the fuck? Drow Bard's player messaged me and my friend told us what he saw and that he reported the server, but it was still up. Yeah, reported and burn it down. Burn the whole thing down. Torch the whole thing down. Jesus Christ. If you're gonna be generating stuff, why are you generating stuff of somebody underage being involved in stuff? Like, that's so creepy. That's creepy. I mean, yeah, it is also creepy to like deep fake somebody's face into like a sexual situation, but a 13-year-old, what the hell? What the fuck is wrong with you? Leave minors out of these sexual situations. Leave minors away from all this nonsense, you fucking freaks. We confronted the DM and Yuan-Ti's player, and they tried to deny it, but Drow Bard's player had screenshot what he saw, so you couldn't just delete the server and lie about it. Yeah, if you see people doing something really weird, screenshot it, because evidence is like key. Evidence is key for that sort of thing. When you're trying to put somebody on blast, yeah, evidence is key, and no matter how gross it is, if you like have some sort of evidence and screenshots of this stuff to show to everybody else exactly what you saw, that really helps your argument, for real. That's not even a take, by the way. That's just me giving advice, but trying to catch people doing bad shit and trying to call them out. If you have evidence, it's irrefutable. Then DM just admitted he AI generated the nudes, but tried to make it out like it was no big deal because they were fake. My friend was especially pissed about her 13-year-old sister having her image used like that, but the DM just said, I also used another AI to age her up first. That does not make any better whatsoever. Just because you age somebody up, it's still gross as f. He taking a picture of a minor and putting them in AI situation where they're doing something sexual. That's gross as f. It's genuinely disgusting. The fact that she can't even see it says more about you as a person than anything else. She still wasn't having it, and he just kept downplaying what he did, and even eventually said, it's not like I snuggled anyone. It's a private server anyway. Technically, I could sue you guys for invading it by proxy. I don't think it's gonna cut in court, buddy. If you make an AI generate stuff of a 13-year-old doing sexual things, it's not gonna cut it. You can't sue anybody about that stuff. Nobody would take your case seriously in the slightest. Eventually, she was just angry and crying. I just told her, come on, let's go. And we all left and told the club organizer and got him banned and eventually expelled from school, and they may be facing legal consequences depending on how Title IX deals with cases like this. Discord is obviously nuked now, and our accounts are gone, and we haven't seen him or his creepy friends since. Good! I'm glad some sort of consequence went for that, because it is genuinely gross, it's genuinely disgusting. I guess justice is served in one way or the other. The school board thought this was inappropriate. If they didn't want to have somebody like that on campus doing that sort of thing. The whole usage of AI with like sexual deepfakes and stuff is just gross. It just sounds really uneasy to me, honestly. I feel extremely unsettled by it. But especially if you're gonna be having a minor's face be deepfaked in a sexual situation, what kind of a fucking freak do you have to be to do that? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck happened in your life to want to be like, you know what? I'm gonna put this 13-year-old's face into a sexy deepfake. What is wrong with you? Ugh, I'm gonna need a break after this story. Jesus Christ. Ugh. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.